Chelsea, Chelsea, Chelsea continue their unbelievable form with an incredible win away to Tottenham. Wow, the Chelsea-Tottenham fixture delivers once again, and Chelsea once again come out on top. Before we get started, I want to hit you with this, Chelsea fans, because I know it's going to put a smile on your face. There's been 66 games in the Premier League between Chelsea and Tottenham. Chelsea have won 37. There's been 21 draws, and Tottenham have only won 8. In that time, Chelsea have scored 124 goals. Tottenham only 66. I don't know about you guys, but that is domination. So if you enjoyed that stat, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as we look at the 3 good, 3 bad about Chelsea in this fixture. Something special happened today. Something special happened on that football pitch today. As a neutral, you would absolutely love this game. Now, of course, Chelsea come away with the 3 points and everything looks bright and rosy because we won at White Hart Lane. But there was a little bit of negatives as well as the positives. But let's start with the positives. Enzo Maresca, what he's doing at Chelsea is nothing short of sensational. Everything evolves around him. And the tactical nous and the tactical adaptation that he showed on that pitch, he showed exactly how to do it to Ange. I'm not surprised he started with the same team as we're seeing against Aston Villa because we dominated Aston Villa on that day. However, Tottenham brought a different approach and that allowed Enzo Maresca to tactically adjust at half time, and he did it perfectly. He got his decisions absolutely spot on today, and you just can't fault him. Yes, we started the game without any discipline, but it takes a good manager to identify how and when to change things. And at half time, you've got to be a brave manager to change the system and the personnel, and he did that perfectly. It probably helped that Romeo Lavia was on a yellow card. He started out with Moses Caicedo right back, inverting into midfield. Now, there was too many times in that first half, especially those opening 20 minutes that we were getting caught out. He had trouble inverting into midfield because Son, what I like to call, was cheating a little bit, staying high and wide, and that prevented Moses Caicedo to move into midfield. It gave him second thoughts about moving into midfield, and we're often getting caught out. So the tactical adjustment he made was absolutely spot on, because not only did he change the personnel of bringing in Malo Gusto, but he also made Cucurella invert in that second half, and it worked superbly. So the tactical nous, the player personnel, the ability to identify when things aren't going right has been superb from Enzo Maresca. Look, the opening 2 goals weren't Enzo Maresca's fault because mistakes happen, people fall over, people slip over. I'm not bothered about that. But the redemption arc from Marc Cucurella was absolutely superb. But I think Jamie Carragher's forgetting the moment. He went in on Marc Cucurella for falling over twice. What happened when Steven Gerrard fell over? That was against Chelsea, remember? See, things happen in football games that go against you. People make mistakes, but it's the ability to bounce back. And I thought Marc Cucurella did that superbly. Because if you look at the goal from Enzo Fernandez, who's the guy that takes the body away to open up the room for Enzo Fernandez? It was Marc Cucurella. And that was in a tactical adjustment from Enzo Maresca to allow these players to be brave, go and make things happen, go and be aggressive out in possession. And that's exactly what Chelsea did, and Tottenham could not cope. Chelsea broke through Tottenham unbelievable amounts of times in that second half. Every time Chelsea went forward, you thought they were going to score. Enzo Maresca's ability to identify that Tottenham are there to be got at. Tottenham are vulnerable when you get bodies forward, and the amount of bodies we committed forward, Tottenham just couldn't cope with it. So Enzo Maresca, once again, not for the first time, not for the last time, give yourself a big green tick. Next up, Jadon Sancho. What did I tell you about this guy? This guy is a superb footballer who can change games, who can be a difference maker in a game, and today he was. The beauty about Jadon Sancho is a lot of people are saying he's in the best form of his life. I disagree with that. Because I think there's more to come from Jadon Sancho. I think we're just seeing a smidgen of what he's capable of, because this boy made exactly the right decisions every single time he got the ball, and I like that he had an effort to goal. Taking that opportunity, the reward completely outweighs the risk when you have a shot at goal from there, and that got Chelsea back in the game. Tremendous performance from Jadon Sancho, and he's been a breath of fresh air since he came into Chelsea's side. We're seeing a complete different Jadon Sancho that we're seeing at Manchester United, and I continuously said it's the environment he's in. Look at the environment he's in at Chelsea. He's happy, he feels welcome, he feels wanted. the fans are encouraging him. And that's lifted his attitude. It's made him think, I want to be here. I want to prove a point. And boy, is he proving a point, because he was creative. He got his goal. He was working hard out of possession. He simply toyed with Tottenham defenders today, and they could not handle him. That's now 5 assists, 2 goals in 10 games, and he's only played 582 minutes. Simply outstanding. What an opportunity this was for Chelsea to bring in a player of the quality of Jadon Sancho. And he's a boy that's proven me right once again, because I said, just because a player doesn't work out at a certain club does not make him a bad player. It's just not the right environment. And that's exactly what we've seen at Manchester United. My next green box is for Romeo Lavia. I know he came off time, but that first half performance was absolutely sensational, especially in an intense position that he plays. He has to be on it at every single opportunity, and I think he was today. If it wasn't for him, Tottenham could have really overrun us, and he was superb in that middle of the pitch. He was shown for the ball. He was being progressive in his play. He was being disciplined but aggressive out of possession. Thought it was a superb performance from Romeo Lavia. And in fact, in a Chelsea shirt, I've not once seen him have a bad game. He's so consistent in that middle of the park. Other teams are struggling to cope with his physicality, his aggression, but it's good aggression. He channels his aggression. And I thought today, his decision making on when to keep the ball, when to be progressive with the ball, was absolutely spot on. That double pivot suits him to an absolute T. When we were shaky, he was the one that was bringing that composure, that calmness in possession. He was everywhere in that first half. And I understand perhaps not fit enough to play full 90 minutes, and Enzo Maresca wants to manage his minutes. But we need to get this boy 100%, because this boy brings so much to this Chelsea side. He was always putting a shift in defensively. He was always shown for the pass, always looking to play forward. It's exactly what you want from a midfield pivot. And my next green tick is for Enzo Fernandez. He was absolutely perfect today, especially in that second half. And I think the reason being is because Marc Cucurella was the one that was getting forward. It allowed Enzo Fernandez to dictate play from deep, and he does that superbly. But what I love that he's adding to his game is that ability to get forward in possession. What Enzo Maresca has done with his squad is allowed them to be brave in possession. Don't join in with attacks. Let's overrun, overload the final third. And that's where the goals are coming from. There was Marc Cucurella, there was Moses Caicedo, there was Enzo Fernandez, there was Jadon Sancho, there was Pedro Neto, there was Cole Palmer, there was Nicholas Jackson, all in that final third, and Tottenham just didn't know how to cope. We're starting to see the real Enzo Fernandez. The Enzo Fernandez we're seeing at River Plate, the Enzo Fernandez we're seeing at Benfica, and I am so happy for the boy, because whatever's going on in his personal life, we don't need to get involved in that. Let him sort out that situation, and it looks like he is, and it looks like he's bringing full focus to the football pitch, and that's all you can ask for from a footballer. He has been absolutely sensational for 4 or 5 weeks for Chelsea, just delivering on all fronts, whether that be tenacious out of possession, dictating play, orchestrating attacks in possession, and he took his goal superbly. Instinctive finish. That's a finish from a boy that's full of life, full of confidence, and that's what you want from Enzo Fernandez, because he is a problem for opposition players. When you play, he's one of those sorts of players that you love to have on your side, but you hate to play against. He's beginning to silence those critics, and we know defensively is not his strong point. But when you've got Romeo Lavia beside him in that first half, Moses Caicedo beside him in that second half, they're beginning to build the partnership. Football is built around profiles and partnerships, and it looks like they're starting to get used to build that chemistry in that middle of the pitch, and it's working fantastically. And before we get on to some negatives, I want to talk about Cole Palmer, because the audacity of that boy is unbelievable. Just the confidence, the aura, the coldness of him. He punished Tottenham today. Didn't have the best of starts. He was struggling to get into the game. What makes a fantastic player separated from a good player is those that can just spring into life at any moment. And Cole Palmer in that second half, he was unplayable. With 2 penalty goals in that second half, rival fans say he only scores penalties, so what? The audacity, the nerves of that boy. He's got nerves of steel. He mustn't have anything going through his head when he takes his penalties, because he just looks the coolest person in that football stadium. He's so cold. He is so cold. I don't think we've ever seen somebody influence a team in the first 18 months in senior football like Cole Palmer. He's taken everything on his shoulders, and his ability just to take pressure into his stride is unbelievable. What a player, what a talent, and I'm so lucky he plays for Chelsea Football Club. Quickly, just before we get on the negatives, let's have a discussion about Marc Cucurella, because look, he slipped, he made 2 mistakes. He's been so consistent for the whole season, and he actually redeemed himself in that second half, because I thought that second half performance from Marc Cucurella was superb. It allowed others to express themselves. It allowed Enzo Fernandez to dictate from play from deep. He was just superb in that second half, so he needs credit for that. But first up, my negative is probably Nicholas Jackson. Look, players can have bad games. This is not what I'm saying. But when they have bad games and they're struggling to get into it, we need to identify it. And today, he just struggled to get in any rhythm. He was trying to make runs. He was trying to drop deep and link up play. And he's usually very good at linking up play, but it just wasn't working for him. He just couldn't get into any rhythm. Now, look, like I say, players have bad games. Look, one bad game doesn't mean he needs to come out the side. Let's encourage the boy, because we know the quality of this boy, and his ceiling is so high, and he's starting to prove that. And we've seen improvement already from last season. So just to have one bad game, look, let's not get on his back. He didn't produce today, but look, you know you've got a quality side when your striker can't get into it, but others are stepping up. And Nicholas Jackson needs to thank others for stepping up today. My second and only negative is that opening 20 minutes. Look, I want to go on record and say Chelsea dominated that game for 70 minutes, but that opening 20 minutes was sloppy, were lackluster, were too close tight, and were getting overturned. Everything just didn't look like Chelsea. And when credit to Tottenham, they took their goals extremely well. If I was a striker, I would have been proud of that Solanke finish. Getting in front of your man, he did everything right. So full credit to Tottenham, because they came out very aggressive. They came out on the front foot. But once Chelsea took control of that game, Tottenham didn't look in it. But the reason why I'm putting that in the negative is if we start like that against an Arsenal, against Man City, against the Liverpool, we will be found out, and we will find it hard to come back into this side. We come back into this game because Ange Postecoglou failed to identify when Chelsea were in momentum. He failed to adapt his system when Chelsea were getting the ascendancy, and that allowed us to come back into this game. But look, Chelsea fully dunked on Tottenham today. We even give them a 2-0 head start and still come out victorious. For that reason only, you've got to smash that like button. And I want to finally say, Marc Cucurella, thank you've put those boots in the bin. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and there won't be a Chelsea fan that doesn't leave this video without hitting the like button. And if you want to support this channel, please hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on another episode. And I want to thank you again for your time, and because time is precious. So thank you very much for Chelsea and your time. Thank you very much for Enzo Maresca. Ciao ragazzi.